Yeah.
Yeah. And Marvel films continue to make $1 billion every time, even though they're appalling.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So,
Right.
I mean, we're wrong, guys. We're the wrong ones.
Let's move on to bad CG in these movies. So,
I've
Can I just-
compared new Marvel with old Marvel.
So can I throw something in here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Go.
Yes. Yesterday, I took my son and we went and saw the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi in the theater.
Nice.
Because I just wanted to see it in the theater. And I forgot how much I really enjoyed the movie. And I admit there's some, it's been cleaned up. It's special edition. There's a few things I wish weren't in there. But for the most part, it's still the same models, the same everything. And I'm shocked at how good it looks. Even the matte paintings and everything, it looks so much better. It looks so much more organic. It feels better. And it just, compared to the CGI shit they do, I know they could do more with CG. There's only so much you can do with a matte painting, obviously. You can pan a little bit, zoom, that's it. But it looked more real because everything's organic and it is real. It's a real painting at the very least. It's real paint. It's real models. It's real people. When they did the forest scene, they're out there in a real forest and there's 200 extras and there's models and it's all felt very tactile and real. And even on the big screen, it felt even more so, which is what I was shocked. I thought I was going to see a lot of seams and it looked better.
do you know what?
And-
I'm gonna. Oh, go on.
I mean, I was just thoroughly enraptured by it, and it's kind of like this is why we're so passionate about this, because I can still watch this movie that I've seen 8 million times 40 years later on the big screen and just still be swept away by it. And I'll tell you one more thing, I was shocked by. There was only 1 day's worth of showings that I know of, but there was a lot of them, and that theater at 3:30 in the afternoon was full.
Packed. Yeah.
Packed.
Yeah.
I was shocked for this movie that I didn't see. It wasn't like the special editions where they did a marketing blitz on it.
Yeah.
I only happened to see it because AMC said, "Oh, by the way, this is coming out on my AMC app." It was packed. I think it was maybe 2 or 3 empty seats in the entire place. I was shocked.
It's
And
made,
it wasn't a
it's
small
made
theater.
5 million it's made this weekend.
Unbelievable.
The thing I think you were saying about the whole tactile feel about things, I watched the first episode of Citadel, which is produced by the Russo brothers, and it stars Richard Madden and the Indian girl whose name I can't remember. But with it, in this opening sequence, they're on a train, and they're obviously there to get information. They're both spies and so forth.
Sorry, what was the name of it again?
It's called Citadel. It's on Amazon.
Citadel. Okay, go ahead.
Again, it's kind of one of those things that I thought, the Russos, I'll give it a go. But in that whole opening sequence, everything about it is CG. The way the camera moves, everything about it just feels wrong. And like you say, back in the day when they had to do practical effects, you think of like The Thing and stuff like that. I mean, okay, there's a few places where The Thing special effects aren't perfect, but you knew it was real, and you knew it was, the bit where he sticks his, Wilfred Bramley sticks his hands in and then pulls up in the face, and it's just everything's real, and you could go in there and touch it. Whereas this Citadel, I was watching it and going, because and when that happens, it just takes you out of the whole reality of what's supposed to be going on, and this because this is
tell you why.
What is GCI?
CGI.
Let me tell you why. The people that made the old films, like you were saying, Yoda, with Return of the Jedi, is because the people that did the matte painting and the special effects cared. They had a sense of self-pride, self-respect, and they wanted to do what was right, and they were fans of the movie industry. These people that are responsible for this CGI and stuff, they're not fans. They have no self-respect. Everything is done by computer filters where they just click it and add muscles and add lighting. And at the end of the day, all they want is to go, I worked on the latest She-Hulk and I got paid $4,000 for doing it. That's all they want. They've got no self-respect. The people that worked on the old films like The Thing, Star Wars, everything, they probably would have done it for free.
Do you know what?
I think there's
Ray Harryhausen. Sorry, I was going to say Ray Harryhausen is a perfect example of that, because back in the day when he was making the films, it was just generally him on his own, and so all of the special effects were done by him. And so, like you say, he had pride in his work of what he was doing, and so those films today still stand up. When you had the battle sequence in, is it Jason the Argonauts, where Jason is fighting the skeletons and stuff, it's fantastic. And to think he just did that by himself, as you say, a bunch of people who are just gonna, I want a credit on that.
Yeah, but you can't look back at Jurassic Park and say that they didn't care, and there's a lot of CG. There's a lot of practical effects too.
You're talking about the new Jurassics or the old ones?
Old one. But I'm saying,
that's the same
but even
thing.
the new ones, I don't. You say you don't care. I'm saying there's probably a lot of CG artists that really do care. This is probably their dream, and they want to do a good job. I think. I do think though that Disney especially is overworking these poor assholes to death. They're farming it out to Korea or Japan or wherever. Nothing against them, but they're like they can't do the volume anymore. I mean, it's not fair to them. They can't put the pride that there's probably a lot of them that want to and hate, because I've heard the stories how they're saying they're just getting worked to death. They can't put in the effort and do the things that they want to do because they don't have the time. And I don't think that's necessarily that a lack of caring as it is, this is my job and it's become a job, and Disney and these movie companies have become factories instead of art, trying to create art and real entertainment for people. I mean, we could go into that all over the place, but it really comes down from the top of saying more content, and the people that really would like to create this stuff. I'm sure the people that tried to create She-Hulk, that wanted to do She-Hulk, I bet there were some She-Hulk fans that really wanted to do a good job, but they were undercut by the assholes up top. I think.
I'd have to agree with that. There are still. It's kind of like modern day politicians. I think there are like a handful of politicians who are genuinely vested in trying to help the people, but they are literally surrounded by a bunch of money greedy liars, and there's nothing they can do.
Politicians helping the people.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm sure there are a few of them who genuinely think that they can actually help, but they are just they get crumpled. Mr. Washington, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington is a perfect example of that. How he wanted to go and but everything is corrupt and everything. And I think there are CG artists who have a passion for doing it and really want to do the best they can, but then they are just literally presenting a turd like She-Hulk. And when they finished it and watch it, they sit there going, "Oh man, I worked 3 months on that," And so I think that there are, there are genuine people.
There are a few good, politicians that genuinely are trying to fight corruption, but they're in single-digit percentage. Yeah.
I'm not talking about a lot, but I do think there are some people, some politicians who genuinely want to help people, but there is just so much swell around them that there's nothing they can do. And if they try it, they're just going to disappear one day.
I'm more cynical. I just think people are just like, fuck it, pay me $1,000 and I'll generate She-Hulk with 4 sets of fucking.
Oh, I'm sure there's mercenaries that are in there. You can't put out this amount of content and not just be hiring everybody you can, and some of them suck. And when you only put out 3 or 4 or 5 CGI movies a year across 2 or 3 different movie studios, you could take the time and you could get the cream of the crop people. But now don't forget the TV shows not on top of all this as well. So I mean, that's a nightmare.
Let's have a look at some of these CG. So we've got New Marvel, Old Marvel. So that Incredible Hulk is from the Incredible Hulk?
No, it's from Avengers.
Right, okay.
First one. And this is a little bit unfair with me because obviously one is a big budget movie, the other is a TV show. So it's a little bit unfair, but what I was trying to show you here is the whole direction that the franchise has taken. We've gone from the Hulk, go back up, Phil. We've gone from the Hulk to some green bird in a dress. So again, they don't know their audience. They've completely, because they want the message of strong, powerful, independent women. But then you get to like Doctor Strange. I mean, look at that. I mean, it's just, look at the old stuff, look at the new stuff. Ant-Man. Look at that shot of the first Ant-Man.
Who signed off on that MODOK? Who signed off on that?
It looks like something from Spy Kids.
But I mean, weirdly, Spy Kids, it worked because it was kind of, you know, it was a kids' film, it was entertainment, it was fine. This is
and it was 20 years ago.
Yeah, that too. But again, MODOK, I mean, like I say, who signed off on that? It's awful.
And then, I mean, you've got Black Panther and, in fact, I think Black Panther come out after Civil War.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Yeah, it was right before Infinity War.
Yeah. So it's not so much about the quality of the CGI, even though that's what we're discussing, but it's also about the camera angles and the shot and the impact. I mean, you look at Iron Man and Captain America, it's like, that looks awesome, I want to see that film. You look at the Black Panther thing, you're like, is that a computer game? What is that?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. That's an interesting year you picked, because 2017 was the first year they went 3 movies a year instead of 2.
Oh, and okay.
Well, I mean, you add another movie. I mean, it's not nothing. It's a lot. 2 movies you can get away with it, especially something like you do Civil War and Doctor Strange in the same year. That was it. Now you do Black Panther, you did Thor Ragnarok, and you did Guardians 2 in 2017. All 3 of those are just CG laden monstrosities. Yep. And it's like, okay, what do you expect was going to start happening?
Yeah. So
it's true.
So we got those. We got.
Iron Man 2008, and then you got the Hulkbuster in, was it 2018 Infinity War? With Mark Ruffalo's floating head. But then, the bottom one, Phil, is
from Thor. Yeah, Thor.
Love and Thunder. And they received such bad backlash on the image on the right-hand side, I think I've got on the wrong side again, that they had to redo it for the digital release. To the guy
again, it's still
doesn't look that much better.
That's what you saw at the cinema. But the one on the right is what you would have seen at the cinema. The one on the left is what you would have seen on Disney Plus. So who's signing off on that? Well, is that woman who just got sacked?
Well, you know, that brings up another point. I had no idea that they changed the CG in that scene. What is the morality of releasing something in a theater then quietly changing the CG in the home video release?
You see, the funny thing is, I said on Twitter the other day that I know it's been in America, they haven't done it over here, but the Return of the Jedi, I do not want to watch the special edition in the cinema. I would give my left testicle to watch it, but the special edition, particularly the whole Anakin tie-in where they get Hayden Christensen in, but also the Vader screaming no before he kills the Emperor, absolutely ruins the movie for me. It's awful. And if they said it was coming to my local cinema, I would be really torn to think, do I want to watch it? Because again, like you say, the original cut of Star Wars, the 77 version, is not in the American Film Institute catalogue because Lucas never submitted it because he always wanted the special editions put in there, and they said no. And so I am dead against that ultimately Star Wars, that original cut of Star Wars, was the film that we all fell in love with. It's the holy grail. And for Lucas to never kind of have released it unless it was on like Laserdisc, I think he did do a copy on DVD. Yeah. And so that, and with Disney, like I say, they changed bits and pieces so that I think it's the new Star Wars now on the Disney Channel. There's a bit with Greedo which is now changed again because they've decided to change it. I completely disagree with it. It's, you wouldn't do that to the Mona Lisa and update her with tattoos and stuff like that, would you? You keep that original. And yet, with films, it's
keep your hard copies, Phil. Keep your hard copies.
No kidding. Well, I know Star Wars upside down, left and right. I don't know Thor: Love and Thunder. So when they make these changes, and
still
this
got the 77 cut on there, which
there you go
was released. And like I say, Disney, look, you can't take that away from me because it's mine.
Yep.
I got those despecialized editions that people did that give it the
I've
Blu-ray.
got them as well.
Yeah, those are great. But I'm just saying that when they make these changes in these movies, and most of these movies, you're not going to know that it happened. Now, is it the end of the world that Thor: Love and Thunder gets changed? No. But, what about something like 12 Angry Men or something that has some political or cultural influence, that maybe they change a word or two because it might offend people or something like that. And they do it with the AI and the CG. They can change the mouth, they can change everything, and it'll look like it. That's the way it was filmed. And that is just, that part is terrifying to me.
Well,
We're going to destroy our own history.
Can I just tell you a story about this, ever so quick? This copy, this is the original cut, the original 77 cut. I worked a few years ago in a home for adults with learning disabilities, and one of the guys had severe disabilities, couldn't talk or anything, and I used to chat away to him when I was helping him out. And one day I was going through his DVD collection. I said, "Hey Mikey," I said, "you've got Star Wars on here." And when I took the box out, I was like, "Mikey, this is the original version." Oh man. And I got talking to the family about it. Anyway, long story short was, this poor kid had a massive heart failure one night and died. And I heard from the parents who said to me, "If you want the DVD, you can have it." And I was like, "Oh, thank you. That means a lot." Because it was nice that they actually thought about it, but also, like I say, you just can't get this anywhere else. So sorry, just
So basically, you killed someone for 77 verses. And Phil standing there with a syringe full of air.
That cannot be proved. That cannot be proved.
A hardcore fan right there.
So you've got the original cuts on Laserdisc, have you?
That's interesting.
And he was dead 2 days later.
Let's look at the difference between Schneider and the Russo brothers.
This is actually a compliment to them both, actually, mate, because I was thinking that both franchises have gone dramatically downhill since Snyder and the Russo brothers have left. So I just wanted to give a brief example of how these guys use CGI, how they frame their shots, how they use their colour palettes. Because
bloody hell!
Snyder and the Russo brothers really are at the top of their game, or were. And
is a good question.
It's no coincidence that everything has turned to shit since all three of them have left their respective franchises. I mean, I watched Watchmen the other night, and I was like, I've not seen this for years, and it is just stunning. And the shot of Superman and Captain America, that's how you frame your superhero. That's what you get. That's your money.
It's brilliant, isn't it? Yeah.
You look at that and you're like, I'm now. That's it. That's what I've been reading the comics for all my life. That's what I want to fly.
If you kind of had a dictionary and looked up Superman, that is the image you see.
Yeah. And
that image.
As well.
Yeah.
These three together, and again, it's not just the action, the emotional. I mean, look at Rorschach, and then obviously you've got Iron Man, who's just about to literally sacrifice himself. And you're like, this is like edge of your seat stuff. This is good quality cinema. It's good storytelling.
Spoiler.
It's framed well. Yes. And you think that everything after Endgame, and I know, Yoda, you're not too keen on the Snyderverse, but everything after Snyder's Justice League has just been terrible, cheap, nasty.
Again, you think about Phase 4, and so I was talking to somebody about it the other day, and they sort of said, we were talking about Phase 4, and I was going, yeah, it's like, what's been in Phase 4? Oh, the Eternals, Black Widow.
They have one thing in Phase 4, and that's Spider-Man No Way Home. That's it.
Yeah. But again, it's because of the member berries.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun, it was good, but yeah, it pulled every cheap trick in the book to make it work, and it does. Peter has a good arc in it. I'm not trying to diss it too much, but it's still, nothing else is even close. And the Russo brothers, my understanding, the way this is all rumor and speculation and hearsay and things I've heard, but my understanding is the way the Russo brothers look at it is that they feel they escaped the Disney.
I think you've got to look at it like that, haven't you? But then if you look
I think they look at it like that. They feel like it's just, they wanted, once they finished that game, I think they were offered a lot of stuff and they were like, no, we're done.
Yeah. But then I see Big Gators just said Snyder's Russo brothers are better than Snyder. Well, the Grey Man and the Citadel don't sound too
accurate.
The thing is you kind of, to me, you've got to look at the whole back catalogue of them, and the Russo brothers, I think they hit the nail on the head with Winter Soldier and Infinity Wars and Endgame. Don't get me wrong, three of the probably greatest movies ever made. Absolutely brilliant. But the stuff that they've done since then, is kind of meh.
Yeah.
You know, it's just kind of thing.
Yeah. I agree.
Did they do Extraction? Didn't they do that one?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Or did they just produce it? Maybe they just
I
produced
thought
it.
they did that.
Hang on.
Go on, have a look.
Chris Hemsworth, and it was directed by Sam Hargrove, but it was written by Joe and Anthony Russo.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So they didn't actually make it.
I'm just seeing that.
Wrote
I'm
it,
just going to
so,
click on.
that's not bad. That's the big thing. Script is everything.
I'm just going to look at their director credits. So they.
See, I'll tell you what, Big Gator. I reckon after Man of Steel and the absolute eye candy it is, that Marvel had to up their game, and that's when they brought on the Russo brothers.
No, I mean, Man of Steel came out in 2013. They would have been well into production of Winter Soldier by then.
It's weird though, because I'm just looking at their back catalogue. The Joe Russo I just clicked on. Obviously, they're working on them together. But I mean, they did Welcome to Collingwood, which I vaguely remember. They did a couple of few episodes of Arrested Development. Then they did like You, Me, and Dupree, which I can't really recall. And they kind of did nothing up until they suddenly did like Captain America.
Weren't they on Community? Were they doing a ton on Community or one of those?
Direct
Parks
is all I'm looking at. It's just the direction. It's like I say, they didn't direct that. They did Up All Night, Animal Practice, Happy Endings. Oh no, sorry, Community, 21 episodes. I do apologise. Yeah, that was funny enough. That was it. It's because it's come up after Captain America. But yeah, no, sorry, they did do that. So yeah, and again, it's just kind of weird how they've done that. And then moving forward, they've done Cherry, which I don't even think I got. Oh, see, they did do The Grey Man, and The Grey Man was right. It was fairly good entertainment.
It was good.
It was okay.
Did they have anything to do with Bullet Train?
Not directing wise. Hang on, producing. Can't see anything there. No.
Maybe.
All I will say is it's taken two Russo brothers to compete with one Zack Snyder. I'm just saying.
I'm sorry. Zack Snyder, I think he's he's great, but he should not be writing any of his own stuff.
This is exactly true. Yeah, I cannot agree with that visually the guy.
Shit, and so is that zombie thing. That was shit as well. Yeah. But
yeah. And I don't like his take on Watchmen.
I love it.
Oh, really? I like it.
It completely misses the point. You can't be making the whole point of Watchmen is that these people are fucking pathetic. That's the point. They are pathetic, and you make them look awesome. I'm like, you missing the effing point. These people are pathetic. That's what makes that story so gritty and nasty, and it's dirty. And he's a fat dumbass in an owl suit, and the comedian is a piece of shit who kills the mother of his brother.
I do get Yoda's point. I do get Yoda's point.
If you read that comic, it looks ugly on purpose. That's the point. So when he makes them look so awesome and cool and make every shot look beautiful, you're missing the point.
No, I disagree. I think he nailed it. I think it's frame by frame. It
hits all the beats. It hits all the storylines. The minor change, the change of the Squid versus Dr. Manhattan doesn't bother me. It's the look. It's the look and the grandeur of the film is not what that story is about. You should have made it visually. This is one time where you need to pull it back on the visuals. That is why that comic resonates, and it's like he just has a fundamental misunderstanding of the comic.
Well, I disagree. I think he nailed it. Spot on. I think it's a perfect adaptation.
Well, then you have a fundamental misunderstanding of it.
No, I don't. Look, I've got a Superman T-shirt and tats and everything. I know what I'm talking about.
Shut up! I'm not associated with him.
Yeah, but look, I've got a Superman tattoo, Phil. I'm one up.
I would take this off, but I've got my mankini underneath, and Yoda said not to show that.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for watching this excerpt from Outpost Frequencies. Tune in live every Sunday at noon Central Time or 6 o'clock UK time. And also, remember to come to lastmovieoutpost.com for all your latest in movie news, streaming news, and everything cool about film. We are the cool news now. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next stream.